Okay, so we're starting out with a follow-up, and then we're going to get to some kind of other stuff that has been sitting in my backlog here for a minute. So this one's from the guy that he did a whole bunch of his own tattoos, and we were seriously questioning the health and safety of his setup. So, yeah.
So it says, I've sent photos before of what I've done. This isn't my work this time. The L was first done by one person, but done over again by another artist. It says, thanks for the review.
So this one is just barely visible.
Barely there.
Yeah, I mean, even the lines are like, they look like they were done in a gray wash. And, yeah, it's like some kind of fire and stars or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's something. It must be a logo of something.
No, I think it's just like that bad, like, 90s, 2000s, weird kind of tribal-esque.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think this guy was alive in the early 2000s and 90s.
No, but, you know, it's just like that shitty flash that used to be a thing.
I think this guy is, yeah, very, very young, so it's just crazy that that stuff is still being done, like, at all. And then this doesn't look much better, but
No.
Fear no end.
Evil. Fear no evil.
Is it evil or end?
It's evil.
It kind of looks like end.
It's evil.
It shouldn't be that hard to tell, but it is. So I think some of this is going to be just flat out gone within a year or two. It doesn't look like it's very old, but it looks old.
Yeah.
You know, like it has a look of something that's been there for 20 years, but I know for a fact that it's not. And I think some of it's just going to rub off with time. Mm-hmm. It's very, very shallow. So, yeah, I don't know how much better this is than the work that he was doing on himself and others. The L was the one that was redone.
Yeah.
So this is a second generation L.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit better in there, but not really.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't know. I question the lighting too. It looks like there's like a glare on this of some kind. You can see in the lines that don't really look like lines, but this kind of blobby line that they have around the edge here is illuminated by something. So it's hard to actually say if this is better than it looks, but it's like that tattoo that you were saying done in here the other day looked better in person.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's like,
there's an artist that their lines don't look like they're in there, but then when you see them in person, they are in there. It's just the photograph. It's awful.
This, however, is probably the best thing this guy has, which is not saying a whole lot, but, and then we got a second picture of that thing. I don't need to look at that anymore. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like this guy looks like he's at about your level.
Yeah.
You know, it's just harder to tattoo yourself than it is for someone else to tattoo you.
I think some people just like bad tattoos.
Oh, I know. There's enough of them that keep a lot of the shops around us open. Mm-hmm. So there's more than some people. There's quite a few people who can't. They don't know that they're bad tattoos. They think like someone would happily pay top dollar for that, right? Like they have no awareness of that, and they'll fight to the death that it's better than a tattoo that is in fact in every way better than it, right?
Right.
And so, like, look at the side of this thing. It's like fading out of existence. Mm-hmm. So there's multiple problems. I don't need to nitpick this, but I don't think that the guy he went to is any better than he is. And we get another picture of the L. He's very proud of the L.
Yeah, I know, right?
He made sure to mention the L more than once, you know. So it's like, yeah, gotcha. The L is your favorite tattoo for some reason.
Right.
It's ironic, but with the current internet slang, all these like young boys putting like L in the chat when something sucks. Right?
Lame.
So this is loser or something.
Loser.
Yeah, he put an L on his hand.
Well,
a second generation
I'm
L.
not gonna call you anything.
So next we have this moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some of these sent to me, so I decided I'd throw a few of these like viral tattoos in here to fill it out because I didn't really want to spend the entire episode beating up Buddy. Like he got it hard enough from us last time.
Right. This moon looks like a lino cut. I kind of like that style.
I do like it. I just don't like the placement because it cuts him off in an odd way.
Yeah.
It's too firm, right? Like it's like Almost like you'd want that moon to be like up and around the top and open at the bottom.
Yeah, higher up, I think, for sure.
Yeah, because like this just gives him this hard line to work with to build off of, and like he probably will just sticker things. It's probably not going to become like a solid full sleeve. It's probably just going to become a sticker thing. But to me, it just doesn't really work. Yeah, even though I like the imagery, I really like how they created the shading with the lines, with the thick black lines.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, a lino cut is carved into like a lino, like linoleum. And so when you're carving out of white space, these grooves stay. And then they catch the ink, and that's why it lines like that. That's why that happens. And so, like, it's a really good mimicking of that, like, directional cutting.
Yeah, I really like how they shaded the black, too. Like, it's not actually black. It's the very dark, like, lots of black lines close together that kind of looks black, but still has that same texture.
Yeah, like a printed on texture.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think, like, not that this is a palm tattoo, but this would be a good method to shading a palm tattoo. You know what I mean? Like doing this method for shading.
Yeah.
Because your liner is hitting deeper than what a mag shade would be. If you didn't want the dot look, this is another route for that. So I really like this one. And then we have this giant monster guy with a giant teethy hole in his back.
Kind of like a crazy Sasquatchy Yeti backwards, I don't even know, critter.
He kind of reminds me of like an ogre from the old game Dragon Age, like the first one, not the new one that's come under scandal. Like just the face of him. But yeah, kind of like a Sasquatch or an ogre or something.
Yeah.
But like a very, very unique one.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very macabre, kind of very scary looking. If you encountered this thing out in the woods, it's like a nightmare creature.
I feel like it just looks a little awkward because he's like looking back and then he's got like the hole in his back. But like, to me, like parts of it feel backwards from the way I'm looking at it. Like, I don't know, maybe his face wouldn't be that visible.
I think if you were to like build out the scene and give it some context, maybe that wouldn't be a problem.
How would you see this?
You'd probably just want to do like some foresty background or something. Because like, and to give them some depth, they could add some drop shadows in places and stuff like this. But him on his own, it's a really cool tattoo. I think he'd look better if he had a background, because he just looks so like kind of cut out and put on.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that for this. Like I would prefer to see if they're gonna do, and they could use his arms too. They could do like a whole incorporation of this guy and just take up the whole back end of him. And I think that'd be really cool. But cool creature. And then this is golf ball scarification.
Whoa.
So this is done over a pretty heavy blackout on his face. And
it looks spicy.
Yeah, people will prefer this method to like a multi-layer white on black type thing. I think it's more fail-proof to some degree, especially if you're not really like planning on doing it a whole bunch of times. But the only issue I have with scarification, and this will have a design in it, guaranteed. There'll be something visible here. The only issue I have with it is even if you go to someone who does it all the time and does it well, it's like a bit of a gamble because you don't know how your body's going to heal the scars.
Right.
So like everybody's like body heals faster and slower and different. Some people scar really badly.
And some people don't scar.
Yeah,
really.
So like before I would commit to this, I'd want to do some scarring, like some heavy scarification somewhere less visible. It's also, it seems like to me, like he's really gone heavy on his face when I look and see he doesn't even have his arm done there. I don't know if he has his other one done or not, but it's just like I see so many times now where people have done so much on their face before they've done other parts of their body. Like it's crazy how much people do on their face these days. Like they go all in on it. And like I'm still squeamish over doing like a little adjustment, you know? Like it's just, and I've been at this forever.
Decision.
It alters the way you look all the time in everything you wear. So it's like, I just don't I don't understand being this like gung-ho about like doing these huge changes to your face like seemingly overnight. I'm not saying it wasn't thought out or planned, but it's just, it seems like a lot, like kind of all at once. But whatever. I mean, it kind of looks cool. I kind of like it. I just think that I hope that it heals well, right? Because if it doesn't, it can be pretty blobby,
It can be.
right? Like
yeah.
some scarring can be pretty gross, right? So it would be a real problem if this didn't. And I'm sure, as I'm saying this, I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine because it looks like they did a really good job of it. It's just that you do run the risk of having big, uprisen, like long scars that don't look very nice.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to see the healed one of this one.
I'm sure
eventually.
it'll surface down the road somewhere.